Today I'm speaking with Frank Palucci, Vice President of International Sales at Finnish Thompson. As a company with deeply local roots and a truly global reach, Finnish Thompson has earned its reputation as a leader in the corrosive chemical transfer industry. During today's discussion, we'll dive into the key considerations for successfully selling into global markets. Finnish Thompson serves a wide range of industries worldwide. Do corrosive fluid transfer needs for mining and oil and gas differ across continents or countries? And if so, in what way?
To answer this first question, in the mining industry, the terms most of the miners would use is called dewatering. And basically, in the dewatering industry, they use a lot of air operated diaphragm pumps for transferring water in the pits where they're actually mining. If we look at South America, South America uses a great deal of pumps, mostly air operated diaphragm pumps. Australia would follow in the same way. And then when we look in Europe, Europe will use a lot more of submersible type electric ATEX pumps just for their reliability. And in Europe, there's a lot of special requirements, special certifications in order to comply with the European community. Asia, on the other hand, would use the same type of technology, which is an air operated diaphragm pump when it comes to mining in it's called closed pit mining, actually. And then for Africa, Africa would follow in the same way for miners. When we look at the oil and gas market is a broad range of products, broad range of industry. Our pumps would be more served on the process side and not on the drilling side.
Are there any challenging fluids or applications you've encountered internationally?
Finnish Thompson being a broad range of pump manufacturer from an air operated diaphragm pump to a centrifugal pump to a drum pump, we don't really have any type of challenges when it comes to chemical corrosive. We pretty much have a line pump that can actually service the market. Where if you look at our competitors, they don't have the same broad range of products that Finnish Thompson carry. Some of our competitors pretty much carry just one type of technology, where Finnish Thompson carries three different types of technology of pumps. So we don't really have much challenging when it comes to these type of markets. We're actually positioned ourselves in a good way to handle a corrosive chemical pump from A to Z.
It's so interesting to hear how demands vary based on location and how Finnish Thompson adapts to those differences. As a company with local roots, global reach, what unique needs and/or regulations does a manufacturing company headquartered in the U.S. need to consider when selling internationally? And why are international certifications a must-have overseas?
That's a very good question. This would be a two-part answer. Finnish Thompson, being a US based company, many years ago, we looked at our options on how do we grow the international market. We looked at Europe. We opened up a Finnish Thompson GmbH in Germany that we can operate out of the Germany office and comply with certain certifications for the European community, such as CE mark and ATEX. Now, the CE mark is more for imports into the European community, and the ATEX mark is more on the explosion proof area. If you don't have CE, you will not get any US products into Europe whatsoever. It is a mandatory regulation that you must have CE mark. ATEX is more flexible. It's more drawn for the explosion proof zone one, zone two areas where there are oil and gas, like jet fuel, some type of mining area where there's actually explosives that are around and so on. Different international markets, in order to get business and to get special projects, there are certain certifications that are mandatory. One would be a COC, which is country of origin certification. So anything that is produced in our US office, some of them need the certifications for country of origin. Then you get the millwright certs. So we have to go to our vendors who are making some of our castings, and we need to ask for their mill certs, primarily for the oil and gas. And some other countries in the African world, they ask for an FTI sealed stamp. So our people must take the order and their purchase order and go to our local town hall and have it sealed stamped from I guess, the governor or whoever is in charge of that documentation. And lastly, that is important, some of the Middle Eastern distributors and customers ask for manufacturing inspection report. So when we ship a project overseas, they will come back to us and ask us for this type of certification to ensure that our products are legit, that is an original part and it is not a copied part.
Thank you for that overview of international certifications, Frank. Switching gears, can you talk about how Finnish Thompson has adapted a product or service to meet the unique needs or regulations of selling internationally?
Again, being a US based company, when we opened up our Finnish Thompson Germany office, we saw the drive in new sales, primarily local support, local inventory, and local currency, along with local literature. So we do have different types of literature that is in German for the German market. Then we have some literature that is also in Spanish. A lot of the countries internationally, the millwright people or even the operational people, they speak very little English. They speak more their culture rather than if you look at the purchasing side of the business or you look at the CEOs or the vice president of engineering, they will actually speak English and they understand. But it's very important for a US based company to have regulations and documentation that can support the local countries. And in Europe, we've noticed stocking locally and we can source locally, for example, an IEC motor that would adapt to a pump where North America wise, you use a NEMA C motor, different configuration of motor that would be installed onto your pump. If we don't have these type of information and these type of tools, we would not generate the sales that Finnish Thompson is currently generating internationally. And we've noticed a lot more increase of sales having a division outside the US.
I can see how offering literature in local languages would be critical, as well as stocking and sourcing locally. What has Finnish Thompson done really well to position the company as an easy choice for people internationally?
So that's a very good question. One, we've done a great job at Finnish Thompson. Our engineering department have seen and heard all the obstacles we've had in the past. They've come out with a unique product to go into the international market.
How is the UCP an example of that?
Yeah, so the UC key market is that we configured our UC pump. We used to have three models in the past when I joined Finnish Thompson. And throughout the years, we identified what was missing. So year to date, we've come out with 22 plus sizes, which caters North America and caters to internationally with adapting an IEC motor to the pump in different chemical applications, such as the battery storage, the EV industry, chemical blending. So we have a product now that can actually compete internationally with the right dimensional to our competitors in Europe or in other countries.
22 sizes is impressive. I'm curious, when selling into a global market, what are the top 3 things a company needs to consider?
So selling into a global market, top three things a US based company needs to consider is one, the proper ISO certifications, two, proper documentation, three, proper material language, and four, pricing is a very, very critical point internationally right now because of the export, the licenses, and along with if there's any type of tariffs or not.
Thank you for those tips. With increasing demand for safe chemical handling, what major trends are shaping the global market for fluid transfer solutions? And how do you identify and pursue new growth opportunities?
A very good question. In today's world where everything is like upside down, that's a very good question. So, trending markets today is obviously the EV industry, battery storage, and hydrogen. Right now, EV is on a very big hype where there's a lot of electric cars, and electric cars needs batteries, which needs to produce chemicals for those batteries. So Finnish Thompson has seen a big spike in sales in the EV industry, along with the battery storage. So when you produce the chemical, you need to store it for when the car manufacturers or the repair people need. That's been trending highly, and it's going to continue trending for at least another a couple of years. Where the next trend is coming is hydrogen. So right now there's a big talk of hydrogen cars. If this goes through by government regulations, Finnish Thompson will see a greater spike in sales with our equipment. And how do we identify all these? We identify these where we have regional managers that are constantly looking for information, constantly traveling in the region with distributors, constantly going to trade shows and finding out what the next best thing is. And once they have this data, they actually come back to myself or our other colleagues at Finnish Thompson and tell us what is needed in the industry for the next hike in market. So technically, through our distribution network, through trade shows, and through ourselves being on certain committees, we're always trying to be in advance before the market trend happens. So we're prepared for it. And having meetings with our executive team at FTI, with our engineering department and our vice president of development, we can put a strategy in place to ensure that all our regional managers are informed of the next trends coming.
Speaking of trends, to close out our conversation, I'd like to look to the future. What do you see as the biggest opportunities for companies selling industrial pumps globally? And what are the greatest challenges?
Right now, the biggest challenge for any pump manufacturer, including FTI, is the tariff talks. Many people don't understand what tariffs really are. Basically, putting a tariff on aluminum, on steel, or magnets, or whatever it is, this really comes from wherever the technology is invented. So when it comes to talking to big corporations, in terms of growth, everybody is not understanding what is going to be the tariff cost on the final goods. So, for bidding on a project, and the oil companies or the car makers will come back to us saying, well, we have put all these projects on hold until we understand what exactly is going on. Is there going to be tariffs or there's going to be some type of deal? So, right now, that's been the biggest challenge for us in trying to gain new market share.
How does Finnish Thompson plan to maintain its leadership in this space?
So the way we maintain our leadership space is we always try to be advance of our competitors. We always look at better products within the Finnish Thompson product range. B, having a full regional manager, high skilled staff to be out there promoting the product, educating our distributors, educating our end users, and most important, educating the engineering firms. Because a lot of the projects come from the engineering firms that are specced out. And what we try doing is going to the engineering firm and specing out the Finnish Thompson product range to stay on top and focused on the global market. For example, I spoke about hydrogen. We are right now talking to a lot of engineering firms that are looking at hydrogen plants. So to spec in Finnish Thompson, we would have the first size on getting the product promoted and spec in Finnish Thompson products before our competitors and so on. And looking at the battery storage industry, again, how do you stay on top of that? We again go to certain markets with the regional managers and ensure that Finnish Thompson comes out as the number one player when it comes to some of these markets and some of these projects. So staying ahead of the market, we always have our regional managers do the educational part to our distributors, end users, and engineering firms.
Thank you, Frank, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise on navigating the complexities of selling to a global market. For listeners who want to learn more about Finnish Thompson, be sure to visit finishthompson.com.